Hello, and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By. Sure, a podcast with Star Trek in it. That's the one. You know us by now. Why am I even introducing? This is bullshit.
Who are we talking to? Is anybody listening out there?
Mostly myself.
Oh.
And me when I'm editing.
Why do I do this? Hey, Chris in the future. I hope you got a sandwich today.
Sandwich.
Yeah, get that sandwich. Anyway, we're talking DS9. We're on Season 2 of DS9, doing the thing. We're talking about 2 episodes this week. Sanctuary and Rivals. As usual, I am Ames.
As you've come to expect, I am Caitlin.
As you've probably feared, I am Jake.
And as happens on occasion, I am Tosk.
Oh, I miss Tosk. We never see Tosk again, do we?
I don't think so.
He's been killed by those hunters.
Oh, I hope not.
Sanctuary first. In Sanctuary, we're dicking around. I forget why, but all of a sudden... Because we're on a Star Trek podcast. That's why. All of a sudden, this ship is coming in, and we decide, oh no, we have to save these 4 people on this ship because they're doing it wrong. They've come out of the Gamma Quadrant.
There's a radiation leak.
That's it, yes. And we bring these 4 people aboard, and we're trying to communicate with them, but their language is so unlike any language we've heard before. Even the Dathan and his people, the Darmok folks. Are they called the Temerians? That's them. That the universal translator is just, allowing their gibberish language to talk at us while we were like, okay, me eat food.
Money! Hand! Me! Or whatever the hell. Sorry, go on.
So it takes a while of just talking with these people with their weird hairdo and their flaky ass fucking skin to determine that these people are the Skria, a race from the Gamma Quadrant. There's 2 fucking R's in a row. It has to be. They're a race from the Gamma Quadrant who have been conquered by the Rogorans.
The T-Rex, okay.
The T-Rexes, who themselves have been conquered by the Dominion.
Bum bum bum.
Whom we've heard of before.
Bum bum.
In a Ferengi episode.
Bum.
For reasons. And they're looking for a place to live. They're looking for their Kentana, their long-sought homeworld. And they're looking around, they realize, okay, there's like fucking millions of us, and we're basically refugees and have nowhere to go. Help us find where to live. And Kira befriends one of them because they're super, super sexist, and they're like this woman-driven race that, if a man talks to them, they'll be like, yeah, I don't like this.
They all do kind of make fun of them. It's great.
Let's only talk to Kira.
That sounds like the perfect world. Really.
Yeah. So Kira befriends they're the leader of this group, whose name is Hanik, and they're figuring shit out. A whole bunch of them end up coming aboard DS9 as they're filing through the wormhole, and Hanik realizes, what I think Kentana is Bajor. Because it makes sense in our prophecy? ? And Kira's
the planet of sadness.
There's too many fucking prophecies in this fucking galaxy. This part of the fucking galaxy is nuts.
And Kira is like, dude, have you seen Bajor? It's a fucking hole. And they're like, yeah, but we're farmers, and we can fill that hole with plants. It's kind of...
Oh, boy. This is already taking a turn.
We've peaked.
Yeah, we should basically just give up now. This is a great episode.
We're done. Yeah. So
good night, everybody.
Good job, Ames. You've carried us, as usual.
Done. Good night. Yeah, so we decide, okay, Bajor is a bad idea. No, we're not going to let you do that. And then Hanik decides, well, I don't like you anymore than Kira. We're just going to go live on Draylon 2.
Like you've been telling us to the whole time.
Yeah, we didn't believe you before when you said Bajor was a hole and your people all sucked. But now that we realize that your people all suck, we don't want to live there. Fuck off. So they leave. Also, Jake is dating a Dabo girl that he's tutoring in his penis.
Whoa.
Named Marta.
Yeah, and what is she studying? Bugs.
Yeah, and there's
etymology.
This Bajoran musician that Kira keeps making people listen to named Varani, who
he's awesome.
I'm not sure why he was there, but he was. The end.
He was there to be vaguely racist later.
Yeah, well, they all were.
Was he racist?
I actually no. I mean,
A
I
lot
feel
of them
like,
were, but he seemed to
He
actually
was a little
be
NIMBY.
like...
He was a little NIMBY-ish.
Well, I think his
He
thing
was
was more
whitish?
just like not in my backyard.
Oh, I was like, the fuck?
I think with him it was just more like he knows his people. You know, he's like, the provisional government. They're gonna say no.
Yeah. In the original story, they said yes. And I think Michael Pillar or somebody was all like, they should say no. And the writer's like, oh yeah, that is more interesting.
What a novel idea.
I was waiting for the queen of the oatmeal people to bone down with the flautist.
The queen of...
Oh,
yes,
my.
I thought so too.
I really
Because
thought they
she
were going to
was
get ready
like...
to bone.
Yeah, because she was like, looking at the... Like, fuck, this fucking dickhead. Oh, I'd like to give you this as a gift. Hands her, like, his latest CD.
No, it's back when he was young and famous.
Hot.
I mean, I know, but it still just seems so weird and self-serving.
Yeah, he's a musician.
Here's a copy of my greatest hits to remember me by.
Now, why did Quark hire this guy? Just as a favor to Kira?
Yeah,
Kira
because
made
Kira
him, yeah.
told him to.
It's probably like, hey, remember that time Dax almost died because of you? Hire this guy.
I don't feel like Quark doesn't have to do anything Kira tells him to.
Maybe he likes it. Maybe.
Yeah, he thinks he's gonna get in good with her because he's a fool.
So I noticed that guy did not have an earring.
Didn't he?
Oh
I
wow!
thought he did.
I don't think he did.
I don't
No,
know
now that
now.
you say it, I don't remember one.
Hmm.
Huh?
He was playing the DS9 theme song.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
It sure as
I
fuck
thought so,
sounded
too.
like
I was
it.
like,
It
is
was
this
like a
just the
remix.
theme, like slightly retooled?
Well, I liked it better that way, I have to say, because I am really not very impressed by the Deep Space Nine theme.
It sounds sad. It sounds so sad.
Well,
I don't mind that.
I think. Okay, so now my head canon is gonna be that it's like some Bajoran opera.
It's the Bajor national
Okay.
anthem.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's why it's so sad.
Yeah. No, it isn't. That's just headcanon.
Oh, okay. I thought he said it or something. I
No,
was like,
no,
huh?
no.
You know, the sad doesn't bother me. It's just, and the end credits one is like okay, but I'm just like, there's lots of like horn or something.
Well, it's the
happening
same
there.
thing, just a little faster and hornier.
Heh.
Wow.
Like
So this-
Julian.
So this episode, I feel like it had a lot of ideas it wanted to pursue and didn't pursue any of them adequately.
Interesting.
Because it clearly wanted to do the whole, like Jake said, kind of the, like, NIMBY, immigrant, refugee thing. But it feels like they didn't do as much with it as they could have. It's like, oh, and look, we're a matriarchal society. But that seemed to mostly just be for the sake of a few crash jokes.
Yeah, but that's always the case. Every time we see a matriarchal society, it's like, well, until Riker gets here and tells us what women ought to do.
Yeah. But, and then, what was the other
I
thing?
am glad like the relationship between Hanik and Kira was nice.
Oh, it was.
I love them bonding over a really ugly
That was
dress.
great. I love that. They both thought it was hideous, because it was.
Who would wear that? I don't know.
Oh, what was the other thing?
I guess I
was
thought you might.
a bit cluttered.
Oh, you already said the racism thing?
Yeah, the immigrant thing, the matriarchal society element, the something.
Dating
else.
a Dabo girl?
That was an afterthought and a half. I forgot about it already again, even though you just mentioned it.
So do you think, this is going to be a hot topic, do we think that any of this was intentionally a critique of Israel and the West Bank? With the whole, I mean, obviously there's a much deeper politics there, but like, you have the Bajorans who are like these people that have been kept down and persecuted.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And then you have, and then it's like, okay, well, we have these other people who are also kind of put down and persecuted, but now but it's like...
In this scenario, you're suggesting that the Bajorans are Israelites and that the whatevers are Palestinians?
Would be like Palestinians.
I think it's a little different only because with the Palestinians, they'd already been living there.
Well, yes.
And then
obviously.
the UN steamed in and was like, these people live here now too. So I don't think in this case it's quite that because the dynamic is so different. I think it is just a case of like any kind of how does any nation deal with a mass refugee crisis.
But they went so far out of their way in this episode to like show everybody's a little bit racist. about this. Like,
well, maybe Avenue Q had just come out. What year was this?
no, it hasn't been out yet. But it's also.
Are you sure? What year is it?
Like
93, 94.
Oh yeah, no, not yet. Sorry, I apologize.
But like. I was like, at first it's like, ooh, they're doing the whole Irish stereotype thing where it's like, they're kind of, they're dressed in rags and they're not assimilating and they're, getting rowdy.
Eating lots of potatoes.
And
fighting with Jake and Nog.
Yeah, fisticuffs.
God, that boy fight was terribly choreographed.
And they fucking growling at each other.
God.
Oh, shut up for a second. Do you know who played
Yes, we
Tumak?
do.
Yep.
The son who died on fucking shuttle pod.
I was told. Go ahead.
Hold on, let me guess. Give me a hint. Give me one hint.
We know his father from another thing.
Father. Okay. Another Star Trek thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Give you
Kids
another
no,
hint.
okay, hold on. All right. It's father, unless it's not obviously Patrick Stewart's kid, and because we've seen him. It could be original series. It's not George Takei. It's not James Doohan, his kid, because we know that guy from another thing. Or I know that guy. Is it
personally
Walter Koenig's kid?
Ding, 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 ding. How did you get there, Jake?
Well, we just heard his thought process. He ruled
really, don't make him do it again.
He ruled out all of TNG, so he went back to TOS.
I was just saying, who's old enough to have a kid this age? I'm assuming the actor was probably in his 20s. Probably.
Let me think.
And I don't think any of the other TNG actors would have had.
Yeah, he would have been, yeah. Yeah, I found everything about the men completely obnoxious.
Yeah, they were dumb.
Like, and I guess that was the point, but it was just grating. Like, the way they moved and were... Well, especially her husbands, or whatever they were, like, they seemed just especially stupid.
Husband?
Yeah, but like,
these are my fuck boys.
Yeah, the way they, like, sort of moved and just looked around all gormlessly.
Don't you have fuck boys?
Andrew
Not right
Koenig
now.
being all, like, just a dip. It was like, I get what you're going for, but it's just grating.
I just critiqued the violence choreography.
Yeah, no, that
it was
bad.
garbage.
He wasn't bad in the episode. It's just,
the way the character was written was just...
And also, I just felt like some of the traits that this group of people was given were like, just kind of silly.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted them to be kind of like, you don't really want to keep them around because they get their skin flakes on everything.
Oh, God, that was so
That was
gross.
unnecessary.
Just go to fucking Bashir and get some hydrocortisone.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it was unnecessary because I think they were likening it to, like...
the Irish.
People like to blame immigrants for bed bugs, and I don't know if that's true or
not. Well, that's right. That's why, though. That's why.
I'm certain that that's what we were getting at.
Right, but I feel like the fact that they actually do literally shed is different because, like, they literally shed.
We don't see them literally shed. We just have.
We can tell they have severe eczema.
Yeah, like they have funky skin. So when they say like, yeah, they shed, you're like, I wouldn't doubt that. They do look like they're made of oatmeal.
Yeah, but except Quark told it to us.
That's true.
So who the fuck knows?
But that's it. I don't think, and this is again going like maybe not far enough for me. Is like it is unclear. Like, is this just Quark being racist, or do they literally shed? Which again, because of the way they did the makeup, you go, yeah, they might actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think they probably should.
Like,
I'm just being the devil's advocate.
The episode, in its own way, there was a lot of I think I don't think they showed enough people aside from Quark and these fucking Bajorans. Who fuck the Bajorans? Like, we didn't see enough people being like kind of mean to them to really get the sense of like how much racism they were really facing. And I'm sure they're supposed to be facing a lot, but it wasn't portrayed well in the episode.
Well, I also would say that not all racism is overt, Irish need not apply type of racism.
It's microaggression.
It's also, it's stuff like, it's like, I actually thought that it was perfectly handled especially with the Bajorans, because it's like, it's that type of racism. I don't even know if you could quite classify it as racism. I think it would be.
Well, he said NIMBYism, I think, is a really good.
But exactly. It's like, we support you so much, and we want the best thing for your people, just not near us.
Yeah, just not here.
Yeah.
We don't. We got our own problems. It's the same. It's
Cover another planet with your skin flakes.
I know the refugee crisis is kind of either fallen out of the news cycle, or I'm sure there's still a lot of refugees. It's probably just been replaced by every other fucking crisis in our world. But it reminded me a lot of that, where it's like, I feel so bad for, the poor Syrians, but I don't want them around here because, they're going to bring trouble and, terrorism.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess for me, the issue was just that the only representatives we saw of it were, again, Quark, who's
kind of
Quark.
a piece of shit.
And representatives of the provisional government who are awful. Like, I think, I don't know what I would have, even if just, like, maybe just some random people on the station,
Speaking of Quark and representations of the Bajoran government, Minister Roseanne was played by Armin Shimmerman's wife, Kitty.
Oh, neat.
That was the woman.
Yes.
Sure.
The what? The what now?
That's kind of how she talked.
Yeah, yeah.
We are.
The woman who does most of the talking during that scene.
Yeah, they
The
showed
other
some
g-
random Vedic.
Yeah, the Vedic whose nose looked fucking like garbage. It looked like he had silly putty on his face.
No, you do see it because you see it from the musician who again is like, I want you to let them know I feel so bad for them, but they can't live with us.
Play Nightbird!
Well, no, he doesn't really say that. He says, I give them my regrets because you know that there's no way the council's going to tell them.
No, that's
to
true.
come.
But
Yeah,
I don't
think if
feel like
anything,
he was like, tell them to find a new planet.
But
No.
even Kira was like, yeah, I agree with the council on this, and like Kira's not ever presented as any kind of racist.
Yeah,
other than
it
against
does
Kardashians.
seem weird that she wouldn't even put up, like, a token effort.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would have cost her nothing to be like, but
Because
no,
she argues
please
with
stop.
them constantly. They're used to that. They're probably shocked she didn't.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, they've probably been briefed, like, all right, now here's the thing. No matter what you say, this woman is going to complain. They were surprised when she was like, no, it makes sense.
I mean, did they open? Is this the episode that they opened with her bitching about the provisional government?
Yeah, she was behind on getting her reports to Cisco because of her arguments
So
with
they already
You were yelling at
ministers.
a screen. Oh, I thought I kept it to a low whisper.
Yeah, and then she has to go talk to Quark because Quark's having an emergency. His profits are marginally down for the hour.
Yeah, this guy won't play Nightbird.
Oh, Nightbird. Yeah, they really should get the organist from.
Oh, she was
He
great.
was fantastic.
She was.
Or the one that from.
from the Star Wars movie, whichever one that was.
No, from the two-parter where
With
Picard
Gambit,
was...
Oh, in TNG.
Oh, no, that,
Oh, the four-legged lady?
Gambit,
Armored lady?
Gambit was the one with Nightbird. No, this was the one with it was from Chain of Command,
Was it Chain of Command?
What are we talking about?
wasn't it?
Is that my man Jellicoe? Chain of Command?
Well, there was one where they went to the Star Wars cantina, but it wasn't the Star Wars cantina.
There were a lot of those.
And the organist played Klingon opera and sang along with
And had
Worf.
4 arms.
Yeah.
And that's not the one we're talking about?
Oh no, maybe it was Gambit that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was... I'm pretty sure it was.
See, they all run together. I feel
Yeah.
like there was another time that they went to a.
There were a
there
couple
several
times. But yeah, no,
Preemptive strike.
she'd be great in Quarks, I think. She'd
Yeah.
fit in just fine.
Yeah, and they don't gamble. That's a problem for Quark.
Well, no money. At least no money that is accepted in this quadrant.
Hey, look, you could find something of value. Actually, they don't have anything of value, it seems. They might
They get
have...
skin flakes and rags.
They
Well, it's 'cause
might have seeds.
they've been slaves, basically, haven't
Yeah.
they? Or serfs. Maybe not slaves, but definitely serfs.
Definitely.
Here's my
Refugees.
question: like, how well do you think they would survive on Bajor? Like, they say, "Oh yeah, we're farmers, we're this, we're that." They don't know the specific soil specifications on Bajor, and they don't know the weather on Bajor.
That's
Well,
true.
it sounds like she did her research. Like
Yeah.
she knew
For an afternoon.
Yeah, but she knew where on Bajor they
Look,
should
that is
go.
enough for her to know that vaccines are not safe.
Look it up.
I mean, honestly, you couldn't make the planet any worse, I think.
That's true. But I don't
It
know.
is.
Kira would feel really bad if they all died after the first famine.
But there's
That's
also like Bajorans, and this is another aspect of this that kind of ties back to the Israel thing a bit. Is it like Bajorans really do feel like spiritually connected to their
Oh
planet?
yeah, they have all these orbs that tell them
like
so.
this is their promised land. They liberated it. So like there's a huge sense of ownership
Yeah.
of their planet, which I think is why there's so much conflict about being even involved in anything related to the Federation. Is like Bajor for the Bajorans,
That's how we opened the season.
Yeah. So yeah.
It is interesting, too. I forgot about this parallel, but this is sort of another group that, for them, there's the wormhole is the eye of the universe. There's a religious significance to it. They try to attach their own religious significance to Bajor.
Well, I think they were also trying to do a thing where like these are like the parallel Bajorans. They're the Bajorans
Of the Delta Quadrant.
of the Gamma Quadrant.
Gamma Quadrant. I keep doing that.
They have basically the same backstory. They've been oppressed.
Yeah.
But unfortunately they did not win their liberation.
Yeah, no, they just got lucky.
They just managed to find the wormhole. And it's like, yeah, the shoe's on the other foot, Bajor. What you gonna do?
Yep.
Gonna open your hearts? Nope.
They're too busy having political intrigue.
So much.
Too much.
Yeah, I kind of like. I feel like this. If instead of that rando Vedic and Quark's wife, they really should have had Wynn. Wynn should have showed up.
She is pretty great.
Like, but then I guess that
would
take out
out.
any ambiguity in it because you just go, nope, that's the evil choice.
Yep, fuck her. Also, really, the news has to be delivered by a member of the government proper, and she's a Vedic. So, why a Vedic was there at all really doesn't make any sense.
Well, I feel like
because they're so intertwined.
Yeah,
That's
true. There's two branches of the Bajoran government.
Yeah. But I can't picture Wynn letting someone else deliver news when she's in the room.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't know. I remember liking this episode, and I didn't dislike it.
It's not bad.
It's a little flat.
It's a little flat, and I feel like it's a little on the nose with like the whole thing. And I think I agree with Chris's point that it's
a little half baked.
Yeah,
you know what is nice is the universal translator talk and seeing how it kind of
liked that.
How it kind of learns a language as it's being spoken, like how Data learned the language in that one where he was radioactive for a while.
Yeah, Mr. Radioactive.
Forget the name of it. It's gone now.
I know the episode you mean.
To Thine Own Self.
That's the one.
Yeah, there it is. I almost said Instance of Command, but that was a different radioactive world.
Yep.
And the language was fine.
Yes.
I think actually they just did that to kill time.
Yeah. I hated the women's haircut.
Oh god, it was so stupid.
And they all had, even the little girl
Even
had
the
it.
little girls
it was like,
had it. Yeah.
I mean, unless you were supposed to believe their heads are shaped like that under there, then that's funny.
I'm hoping.
Terrifying, but funny. That's why they're such good farmers. They use their skulls as spades.
Oh god.
They pick up the children and just dig with them. Oh no, or you're talking about like that shovel-headed bird thing in Alice in Wonderland.
I was thinking more of that, but yeah.
Man,
Either way.
so apparently they have nightly multi-partner orgies.
Yep.
How and
you?
we know that they flake everywhere. How well do you think a vacuum cleaner salesman could do on their planet?
Maybe they just like the filth.
That should have been a thing. That's what made Quark come around. He's like, wait a minute.
Hey guys, it's snowing on the promenade again.
Oh, catch them on your tongue! Sorry, that's Jake's fault. That's somehow Jake's fault. I apologize.
No, I did think Odo was having about as trouble with these people as he did with the emus in If Wishes Were Horses, where it also snowed on the promenade.
Well, the difference, of course, is that the emu doesn't listen to you regardless of your gender, and in this case, everyone was just like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I did like, though?
A man, really.
Was that...
He's a goo.
Was, Nog caused trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And
then
then
Jake got blamed.
Well, but then Jake goes back and tries to mend fences, because that's what Jake does.
Yeah.
Jake sat there and only took the good lessons from Starfleet.
Mm.
And I like when he does that.
Jake and Nog are definitely a goofus and gallant pair.
Yeah. But I just like that again. It's like, yeah, you see, good on Jake trying to, like, all right, let's fix this.
Don't do what Nog does.
Speaking of Jake Sisko, so Jake Sisko, middle schooler,
yeah,
banging a Dabo girl,
like, I
or at
imagine
least trying to do.
All Dabo girls have to be of age.
All
right?
Dabo
I
girls
would
have to
hope.
sleep with Quark.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was a odd
Weird
thing that
I
they
didn't-
put in there.
yeah,
like
no.
I could, like, yeah, maybe if he was a, like, I
If
don't
she
know.
was like a waitress or a cashier on the promenade.
The daughter of the guy that runs the fucking Jumja stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Jake is clearly, I don't know how old Sherlock Lofton is when this was shot, but I mean the character of Jake is clearly supposed to be between like 14 or 15.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
learned
no, he's
last
quite
week
young.
he was studying for a calculus test. Which, okay, does Keiko teach that? Fuck you.
Like,
Well, but also don't forget though, this is like Starfleet time, so they start teaching calculus in like fucking 6th
That's the
grade,
thing. That must
probably.
be remedial math for him at this point.
Well, lived on so many different ships.
I don't know. He's not a fucking tool like Wesley Crusher, so he's just a fucking nerd.
But I feel like there was just even that episode where like some rando kid on the Enterprise was like doing math that was what we would consider far too advanced for their age.
It certainly wasn't
It was like
Alexander.
it was like an elementary schooler.
Alexander can't even read.
Yeah, no, he's an idiot. But no, it's just some rando kid who's like...
He probably has dyslexia.
No, he's just an idiot.
We have no evidence that he can't read. I'm just saying that.
Fucking Alexander.
He probably can read.
I'm just saying, though, you think about it. Klingons aren't going to be like, yes, my son has a learning disability. They'd be like, throw him in the pit.
No, they'd be like, my son has a learning disability. He can't kill shit.
Yeah, that's his... Anyway. But no, there was some, like, elementary schooler who was, like, doing algebra or something once. And we were like, okay, we get it. It's the future. People are smarter. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. So, anyway. So, Jake is...
trying to fuck an older woman.
Either way. But, like, shame on this woman for being like, we're gonna, get fucking math lessons from Jake Sisko? Like, what's that?
Etymology.
Etymology lessons.
Which Nog thought that meant she wanted to be a chef, which I thought was cute.
Was funny. But it's like, come on, lady. You gotta have... You can't just fucking have alone time with a teenager. Like, this is how fucking jail sentences start.
Yikes.
Yeah, I hope from her end it really is completely innocent and she just isn't thinking about it, because if not, that's just gross.
Yeah, she actually just wants to learn more about entomology, and Jake is reading way too far
I'd like to
into
imagine
it.
that, like, Jake, like, learned something about entomology and was like, hey, what was her name, Martha?
Marta.
Hey, Marta. Yeah, bugs. And she's like, very cool, Jake. Very cool.
We're dating now.
Her hand brushed my leg.
I do like the idea of someone being an entomologist who decides to say fuck it and goes to Ferenginar to be a chef. Because like, yeah, okay.
I know all about these things.
Not a lot of jobs for etymologists out there. Fucking Starfleet.
Do you think if an entomologist studies bugs, though, do you think an entomologist studies cakes? Entomans?
So Tumak died,
it's a company
and that was
that
sad.
Makes cakes?
Yeah, he got corploded by stuff.
and we didn't see any of it.
It wasn't fucking sad.
Did we even hear from him, or just from the Bajorans?
Just from the Bajorans.
We didn't even know if we were getting through to him or not.
It was unclear.
He probably had the thing on mute, and his mom is there, like, watching a little dot go move around on a screen.
And then it goes...
Yeah, and honestly, like, I don't know why, but I was not terribly into the scene. Normally, like, you'd think the tension would be there, like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
No, it's because we've seen him be a little prick. Every scene he's shown up in, he's been a dickhead. I was like, who gives a shit?
Well, I mean, like, he did get stink spray on him.
Yeah, but he was a dick before that. And then he reacted to being stink sprayed by, like, seriously overreacting, being like, I'm gonna fucking get you, big ears, or whatever the fuck he called him.
Yeah, like,
he just seems like he's a little douchebag, and I don't like him.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like, they didn't do much to make, like, him as a character particularly sympathetic.
But I didn't even care for Hanik in that scene, as she's literally, like, witnessing the dot be her son, and the dot go out.
Well, I didn't like her either, because by then we've seen her turn on Kira for no fucking reason. Why didn't you fight your entire government to give me what I want? Listen, bitch, we just fucking met, and I'm only one person.
And also, look at this dot is an example of how bad our government is, and it going up in flames is our whole planet.
I did think, I mean, though, it maybe would have been nice to see more. I think the fact that we just see the dot disappear as opposed to a big, like, action explosion was actually nice. Like,
yeah, like,
it was also very cheap.
I like the technique a lot, but for some reason I felt like I just didn't have that level of tension, that level of caring for the character.
Oh yeah, no, totally. It definitely fell flat for me as well. I think, I'll admit, I was surprised they actually killed him off. It felt very, like, I mean, I guess I'm just, I felt like, oh, they're gonna pull something out. It's Star Trek. Of course they're not gonna let the random kid die. Oh, okay, they did.
Well, I kind of wondered if it was going to lead to, like, the Bajorans being like, oh, like, maybe we should try to...
God, no, it's the
yeah,
Bajorans.
or even the Skreans being like, okay, if your people are like this, then yeah, we really don't want to be like...
Well, that
She kind
I was
of
gonna say, that
says.
almost kind of is what happens,
Yeah,
right?
but at the cost of her son.
Yeah.
Well,
Not at the cost of, learning logic a little bit and understanding how other cultures work, but...
She's probably glad he's gone. Listen, that just means she's got more bone down time with her two bonded men.
Nice. No. Nice.
But they also kind of pussed out the writing in this because he doesn't get shot down. His ship just exploded.
Oh, that's right. They're like,
That's
no,
true.
what we missed with the phasers or whatever, we weren't actually aiming for him. We were aiming near him. And they're like, but there was a radioactive leak, idiots.
Or they were just like, oh yeah, no, we missed.
Yeah, we definitely
Wink.
didn't mean to kill a child.
Doing
They
space
did.
high fives to each other through their cockpits, like
Drawing.
Maverick and Goose.
Drawing dicks. Like those,
Iceman, whatever.
Do you hear there's going to be a second Top Gun film?
Yes. Oy.
I like Tom Cruise.
You do.
I like Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah, it's just like the concept of
Tom Cruise.
America going to some sort of war with a force that could... The idea of an
Challenge us in the air.
Yeah, an air war in the 1980s was already laughable. In 2020, it's ludicrous.
I mean, the whole idea of like dog fighting
That's what, yeah, by the
in
80s,
jets
that was stupid.
is absurd.
Yeah.
And also them teaching it. It seems the theme of this movie seems to be like, Tom Cruise is here to teach you how to do this dumb shit.
Yeah, no, the Air Force is all drones
Okay,
now.
here's going to be my prediction for the plot of Top Gun 3. They're like, all right,
Is it Darth Maul?
We're Top Gun 2. We're shutting down the Top Gun program because
It's
fucking,
dumb.
Because fucking drones.
Yeah.
You're all playing video games now, kids.
Speaking of video games, let's move on to Rivals.
That works.
Hey, I was waiting for a segue to pop up. I was like, there it is.
Yep.
There it is. We're gonna play some video games and Rivals, everybody. It's gonna be fucking great.
And some racquetball. Space racquetball.
So much racquetball.
Alright, so in Rivals, we meet this new El-Aurian dude, Martis Mazur, who is, trying to find some kind of con with this widow, Alcia, whose husband just died, but she has all this money, and she's like, oh my god, I have some money, but I have to figure out what to do, and I'm trying to figure out, I have to... There's a song and dance she has to do to get this money thing happening, and he's like, I'll help you because I'm great at this kind of thing. I'm a listener, like all El-Aurians are. You just automatically trust me, right? And she's like, yes, I do.
I
Oh
like
my
how
God.
she keeps emphasizing how she cannot believe she's telling him all of this. Like,
Oh my god, it's so weird. I have all this money and I told you about it, and that's weird. And then Odal storms in and is like, dude, you're coming to the brig with me. And he's like, alright, sure. Because, he's a fucking con artist, and he conned some people before, and Odo caught him for it. Good job, Odo. And while Mate Martis is in the cell, he meets this old, disgusting lump of a man named Koss,
That sounds right.
who has this gambling device. It's unclear what the gambling device is, but he's been on a losing streak, and this thing has basically cost him his fortune, his health, his life, his friends. This thing has ruined his life. And as he's playing with the thing, suddenly he wins at it and then dies. Whoops.
But he's happy.
And Martis is like, even though the guy said this thing was a device that destroys your life, I want it.
It was a mogwai.
that feels like what people must think when they try heroin for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna kill me. Let's go for it.
Yeah, the first time was fine. Let's see how long I can last
Let's
on
chase
this.
that dragon.
Yeah, so Martis gets this new gambling device, and he opens up with the money from this Bajoran shopkeeper, Rowanna, who partners with him. He opens up a new casino right across the promenade from Quark's. Quark is pissed. Nog goes to work with him. Everyone's going to Club Martis, and boo that guy. Because he makes this gambling device into a whole bunch of other games that everyone can play. And all of a sudden, as these things are in use, weird shit starts happening on the station that's unclear why it's related, but we'll get to that, I guess, when we talk about it, because it's dumb. Yeah, okay, I see where you guys don't like this episode, because that's the really, really dumb part, because apparently what these devices have done is they've altered the laws of probability
Somehow.
so that weird shit just is more likely to happen. Unlikely shit keeps happening, like people trip on things. That was actually a plot line. Wow, more people have tripped today than usual.
Lots of
Something's
people-
weird. Jadzia, look into it.
Yeah, I like that they're like, wow, lots of people are in the sick bay because they fell on their faces like dipshits.
They did.
But meanwhile, their CMO is too busy playing racquetball to cure them.
Yes. So let me finish plot A.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically Quark realizes, oh man, since no one is coming in here, I'm going to pal up with Julian and Miles, who have this racketeer, other
It's
one.
the
Racquetball.
It's the Rocketeer. This racquetball competition going in which we get to see them playing racquetball, which was basically it.
Space racquetball.
Space Getball. And Quark decides, I'm going to turn this into a big event so that I can make some money back because Martis has stolen most of my clients. At that moment, Martis's luck changes because of his devices, which we saw happen with the old guy, but no one figured this was going to happen. What fucking ever. Miles figures out something's up because he's suddenly really good at racquetball, which is stupid. And they figure it out, and they decide, okay, well, we're going to put you out of business, and we're going to destroy all your gambling devices, because when you made them with the replicator, I think that's what caused it to happen on the
Well,
ship.
he made them bigger, and there's a bunch of them now, and
there's like blueprint is now in the ship because the replicator made it. I don't know. We'll talk about it. It does lose all of its threads. So Martis loses all of his business. Alcia comes up and she's like, "Oh, I need just a couple more monies for my thinger," and then she vanishes because she was the con artist all along.
I did like that.
I did like
that
her
too.
She was pretty cool. Martis, in disgrace, has to sell out or be sold to Quark, which was unclear.
Yeah.
But he lives. Everyone's happy. Quark is especially happy, as he should be. The end.
I'm not happy.
See, I think, honestly, I kind of like the idea of some alien woo that breaks some, the laws of probability and causes improbable events to happen more frequently.
But improbable events being, Kira tripped and broke her nose.
Well, that's the problem. Is that
Got a new ridge now.
Whoever wrote this was like, improbable events equals good luck and bad luck, which is not really what that should have been.
It's such an interesting idea, and it is squandered.
It reminded me an awful lot of If Wishes Were Horses, and it was like, just weird shit happening all around the ship that has a weird trace to something that happened.
At least If Wishes Were Horses had anything happen.
Wow.
Because I remember sitting there like,
You didn't like seeing a shirtless Miles this episode?
Oh my god, remember when I messaged
Look,
you
if
about
I
that?
want to see a flabby, hairy Irishman without a shirt, I'll look in the mirror.
Oh, I knew you were going to say something like that. Don't do it.
I already did.
But
I'm not cutting it.
Body
There are other
positivity,
pictures
kids.
on the internet for you.
True. But, because I remember sitting there just like, when's this episode going to start? Has it started yet? I'm like 20 minutes in. When is something going to happen? And it by the time you realize it's like, it started at some point and it's over now? What? And the stupid doodads and like you said, Jake, it's like, it makes more improbable. When you start talking about probability in science fiction, I start thinking of the wackiness of the infinite improbability drive from Hitchhiker's Guide. And they're not going to go that wacky.
Okay.
But to see things just be a little more more than just good luck versus bad luck.
Would this episode have been fixed if they did what they were planning on doing and introduce that Martis is Guinan's son and Whoopi Goldberg would have come in at the end?
I mean,
it would have been improved by just having Whoopi there.
Yeah.
That would.
But that would not have solved.
It wouldn't have fixed the episode, but I'd been like, Whoopi's back. Nice.
It's fun.
She just wasn't available.
No.
It's also a waste of the actor. I can't think of his name.
Armin Shimmerman.
No, the guest who we
like
spent.
that.
We spent more time with him than most of the regulars,
With
which was
Martis?
bizarre.
So I really liked Martis.
He gave me a little bit of Okona vibes.
Well,
So here's the thing. I think that they fucked him up.
He deserved it, though, more than Okana did.
I think, and I said this to you, Chris, I think that they had an opportunity to make this into a really good, Harry Mudd-esque character, but instead they kind of fucked it up, and then they had kind of a shittier Max Bialystock and the producers type of thing. He's chasing old pussy to get money, and he still manages to fuck it up somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it could have been more interesting if, instead of just some rando El-Aurian, which was El-Aurians, we've met two El-Aurians, Guinan and Soren.
Yeah.
We haven't even met Soren at this point in the show.
True.
Which is interesting because I don't think Guinan is ever named an El-Aurian until Generations.
That's true.
So
if she had been in this, it would obviously have been
but they never.
And I didn't realize this was her race until you started talking, talking
that's why he's so
this.
good at listening.
So
well, yeah, I mean, I get it now. I didn't.
So I guess this episode is the origin of that species name in canon.
Or at least first time they said it out loud.
Well,
Presumably it was in a show Bible at some
I
point.
wouldn't be surprised.
But anyway, I think it would have been more interesting if it had been someone more, either someone from Quark's past, maybe a rival Ferengi,
or Quark himself.
or Rom, or...
Ooh.
If Rom had used it to create a competing bar, that could have been way better.
I mean, just last week, you know, he was...
Yeah, all up on
He wanted to get his own bar. Like, maybe, like, he finds a device and, like, challenges Quark to a betting thing to, like, win the bar. I don't know. Something funky.
Yeah. But the guy that did play our not Harry Mudd, that's, it's Christopher something. Christopher Guest. Who,
Good name for a guest star, eh?
Not Christopher Guest. Fuck, I get... Anyway...
Christopher Lee, Chris Nolan.
Whatever the hell his name is, you might have recognized him
Chris
as
Cornell.
Prince Humperdinck from
you're
Princess
right.
Bride,
Yes.
and the speaking but not singing voice of Jack Skellington.
Ah.
The singing voice is Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman. Oh, okay.
Let's see. Prince Humperdinck.
That was his talking voice guy?
Yeah.
Really?
Sarandon.
Sarandon, there it is.
Any relation to Susan?
Any relation to Christopher Guest?
No.
No.
Yes, Ames. All people named Chris are related.
Yeah, no, me and Evans go back years. Unless we touch his abs sometimes.
Let's see.
Wow.
I wish.
That'd be a weird day. Hey, Chris, whoop him out.
He is the Susan Sarandon for who Susan Sarandon gets her name from Chris Sarandon, her ex-husband.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm sorry, what?
Susan
So she was married to him?
From 67 to 79.
He's old enough to have been married to Susan Sarandon?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
No, I mean, keep in mind, this episode's almost 30 years old now.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon.
It's 25.
Yeah, Susan Sarandon's
26.
maiden name is Tomalin.
Tomahawk.
That sounds like some
Tomahawk.
Star Trek shit,
Tomahawk,
honestly.
that's right.
Yeah, Tomalin.
Anyway,
he's
so
a Romulan.
That's the thing. He's a fun actor, especially when I'm playing a smarmy prick.
Oh
but
yeah,
it was
like
just
the character is a good character.
It is. But this whole thing with the magic space balls, I'm just like, what
the magic space,
fuck?
the trying to justify the science of probability by being like things that are rotating clockwise and anti-clockwise.
Well, that wasn't what was causing it. That was just another symptom, they said.
God,
but that thing is like that. It's Star Trek.
100% turning the in one direction.
Yeah. That's,
Thanks, Jadzia.
That's the thing. It's like
You like science real hard today.
I will suspend my disbelief all sorts of ways, but this episode it disintegrated. I'm just like, no, I don't.
Yeah, like,
I do not buy into your premise. This whole episode fails.
I was there for the first, 2/3 of, Quark has a rival, that's kind of cool. Bashir and Miles fucking hate each other, that's hilarious.
That tracks.
Keiko hates Miles even more, and it's great.
Like, the episode could have been so much better by simply dropping the magic alien thing and just have him, you can save so much time. The episode could have gotten started so much faster if he just shows up. And like you said, Jake, maybe he's an old rival of Quark's, or maybe he's not either way, but he becomes one because he's just like, this seems like a fine place to open a bar. And then it can all progress in much the same way. He can still even just have a bad streak. It just doesn't have to be the result of magic balls.
Yeah.
Balls.
He could still get conned by the mining lady, which is great.
She was good.
Partway through, I was like, wait a minute, is she conning him?
I really hated what he did with Roanna, the woman who...
Yeah, that was
they're
mean.
both widows, which there's a lot of fucking widows, Bajoran widows happening.
Well... but she was the first one wasn't a Bajoran.
That's true, but the second one and the one from last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever that was.
But I mean, considering what happened on their planet, it makes sense.
Yeah. But, we meet Roanna, and she's like, oh, yeah, my shop is closing up, and I need help, and blah, blah, blah. And Mortis swoops in. And, the next day, he's like, let's seal the deal. And she's like, oh, my God, are you proposing? And I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
And then
at the end, she's like, oh, now your face is in the cleavage of another woman. Weird. I guess you're into that,
I like the little crown haircut.
The little crown haircut was good. And Rowanna's all jealous. It's like, did you actually think you were going to marry this guy? Where did this go?
Well, I think she probably did think that.
I mean,
but
he did propose to her and
that
give
was
her
actually a proposal.
an engagement earring.
No, it seemed she put it on. She accepted.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I thought that was just
said-
saying, yes, let's actually do business together as business people.
No.
Well,
because
I
I'm
mean,
conning
here's the
you.
thing. That is basically what it was, and she thought it was romantic, I guess,
Oh,
even
this
though she
poor
doesn't know him.
bitch.
Well, that's the thing. Like, she's just making... Oh, my God, it's my grandmother. I ever tell you
I was
guys about the
thinking that.
time my grandmother got taken for $90,000 by a fucking scammer on the internet? That's
Yep.
this lady.
Yep.
Yeah.
Except I feel really bad for this lady.
I was about to say, yeah.
She's much more sympathetic than my grandmother.
Yeah, much.
Yikes.
So he's a con artist, but his whole MO is
I'm a listener.
he gains people's trust just by listening to their problems.
Listening at them.
But then he gets
Well, I
them
mean, that
to
is the best way
then
to
he gets
do
them
it.
to invest in his shady
Yep.
shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's really just how con men work a lot, you know?
Yeah.
You fake sympathy, you're an ear. Really, El-Aurians would make great con people.
Mm.
So this, it kind of like, I feel like there was some, like with last week, there were some decent rom moments here. I did quite like, is there a way I can blame this on you? No.
He's gonna do it anyway.
Well, then pay them out. Thought that was good. Poor Rom. No respect.
Fuck him. I don't like Rom. I don't know if I'm ever going to like Rom, but
I like all
right
the,
now, I
I
don't
like all
like
the
Rom.
Rom jokes. Rom, he's annoying.
The performance of Rom is an acquired taste, I think.
Yeah. But all the Rom is an idiot jokes are always A+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I can do
is
without him. The only actually no, that's
Quark-
not true.
Quark
When
stole
Quark
his
shits on
presents.
him, I like that.
Quark stole his presents and sold them that time, he said. That was sad.
I love it. I just love Quark.
Quark
So
probably
bad.
wasn't even punished for it. They probably congratulated him on his lobes.
Ah, you've got the lobes.
Enjoy your rotten vegetables, Rom.
Your brother's a little slow.
So, space racquetball.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that set was a bitch to shoot in because of all the weird angles, and then decided, we're not going to play racquetball anymore on DS9 because that thing was a pain in the ass to build. And
Let's
we're not gonna do it
play
again.
baseball instead.
Let's play. I think they switched to darts after a while.
Darts.
Yeah, well, because that's fine, because you can put them in the fucking
Wait,
bar.
that's why people are always doing fucking memes with him saying darts? That's great. I had no idea. I figured it was some sort of in-joke I didn't get.
Yep.
It's not. It's a reference that I didn't get.
Yeah, it's
good.
a reference we'll get eventually because racquetball was too complicated.
Darts.
Well, plus,
And you can keep your shirt on, too.
yeah, it's always just easier on the actors. It's easier to have a conversation while pretending to play darts versus...
What, you didn't like Bashir in that little jumpsuit, though? His little leotard?
I thought it was fine.
I do like
I
how,
think it looked like it was too loose for him, though. Like...
there should have been more bulge.
Waiting for
No.
You're Bulge
For
Patrol.
once, it has nothing to do with that. It just,
once.
what did I say? It just looked like it hung on him wrong.
Yeah.
Like it was too loose.
He wasn't hung well with it.
It's nothing to do with the dick, honestly. I'm not that interested in Bashir's dick.
I did appreciate, though, like, it did feel like, these are the clothes O'Brien would wear to, like, play racquetball. Very down to earth.
And this is exactly what Julian would wear to
Yeah.
play racquetball.
And of
Well,
course, he was captain of the fucking team or
And of
whatever.
course,
that's the
he's a
thing,
racquetball wizard.
It sends a message too, though, about like their like Julian's level of expertise and professionalism, and the fact that O'Brien like just grabs some shit out of his closet.
Yeah.
You know, those are his like raking leaves
He
clothing.
could have anything replicated, though, if he wanted to.
It was also nice to see civilian clothing on Star Trek that wasn't bizarre. It was like, these are just clothes. It's great.
Yeah, and I kind of liked, O'Brien's struggle with like his dad bod.
Yeah.
Like
Feeling old.
yeah.
Keiko insulting him whilst trying to compliment him because she's just so used to insulting him.
We all slow down.
I mean, it's true.
I'm glad because
It's not your fault. Bashir is so much better than you.
She's like,
Also,
I can
uh,
outrun you
At
better
everything.
now.
I had to look it up. Cole Meany was actually 41 at this point.
And Bashir was.
I don't know, but because at one
20s.
point Dax says
Oh,
he
really?
can't be a day over 38. And I was like, in what universe?
I was gonna say, like, aren't people supposed to age? Like, I would expect it to be like he can't be a day over 60 or something. Like,
I was like-
this is Star Trek world.
I'm not going to lie, no offense to him, but I was like, wow, he was only 41? Ooh.
Oh.
Chris, I hate to tell you, you don't look a day over 41.
Oh, Chris, that's not nice.
I don't look great for my age, but I look better than Jason Alexander did at 35.
Oh, well,
I'll give
yes.
myself that.
That's fair.
And you definitely look better than Cole Meany does at 41.
I'll say that.
We'll see how I look at 41 and see how I compare to Cole Meany at 41.
There we go. But yeah, no, I like, this is an episode where I was like, yeah, Keiko sucks, but yeah, it's alright. She's funny.
I thought she was fine here.
No, she still sucks. I just mean she sucks in general. Her character is just a sucky
I just want the record to show I think she sucks, but I'm going to give her this one.
She was nice and supportive. She gave him the silly headband, which I was like...
Oh, I thought that was weird.
I was like, wow, this feels like something a white guy wrote.
Yeah.
That's uncomfortable.
And what the fuck
Scented
did she
with
say?
her perfume.
Was scented with my perfume, and
Why would you want that on your head?
I was like, so what does
Rubbing
that mean?
against
She
your
ran it
temple.
down her ass crack and over her vajaj and then just like
Yeah.
threw it on his
What?
face? Like, here you go.
Caitlin.
This smells
What?
just like that
Naughty.
candle you got from Goop.
Thank you. I was trying to
there you
think
go.
about it.
Oh, that's goop, all right. Oh.
Meanwhile,
There's another meanwhile?
I was just going to try to get us off vaginas and back onto
There's-
racquetball.
Nope, there's only vaginas from here on out.
It's vaginas all the way down.
Wow.
Or up, depending on your preferred position.
That's true.
I feel like they should have been wearing face shields or something, or like
Maybe.
goggles or something. Because like even people
Mouth
playing
guard?
like earth ground
Yeah.
racquetball, where at least eye protection.
Well, because those balls are hard, aren't
they're
they?
hard and they're flying at high speeds, and in this
But
one,
they're in the holodeck.
No,
they
that's...
built a.
Oh, that's stupid. Why would you do that?
No,
Why
that's
not
stupid.
just
They
do
said
it in the
The
holodeck?
chief himself is the one that built it.
Miles,
Why did
you're a
he do that?
moron.
Because he apparently likes space racquetball.
No, but why not just holodeck it?
I couldn't fucking tell you.
Because Quark charges you
Oh,
money
yeah.
to go on the holodeck.
And also, would
And
you...
he wants to save his space bucks for when he wants
Yeah,
to
he was probably
masturbate.
I was saying,
Yeah.
probably like no matter how much they clean it, those holosuites smell funny.
You gotta bring a black light with you. Like,
Don't bring a black light with you.
That's where Jake Sisko
You'll
goes
be
to
blinded.
quote-unquote play baseball.
And teach Davo girls how to fucking
Play
do
baseball.
calculus or something.
So who ended up winning the match?
I think the match was called off.
Yeah, they stopped because they realized probability wasn't working.
Maybe they redid it later off screen.
I doubt it.
Yeah, me too,
It
but-
sounded very much like they're like, yeah,
I
let's
hope the
never do
orphans
this
got their
again.
blankets.
Nope, no blankets for anyone.
Nope.
I don't think the orphans were real.
Mm.
Yeah, the monks were real.
Were they?
Well,
They could've just been in on it with
there were
Quark.
men dressed as monks.
True.
That much is true.
They had big Ferengi ears.
Maybe they were Hare Krishnas.
There was. I really did kind of enjoy the scene where Quark tries to poison the shield.
That was pretty funny. That was good.
Quark tries to poison Bashir. That's so cute.
That's so Quark. Everyone's betting on you. So profit.
How would that work? Would just no one make money? You
Well,
know-
no, you would still make money. The thing, but it's all odds. So like, yeah, if you bet on the one to win that obviously was going to win, you make less than you would if you bet on the guy that you thought was going to lose who
You
then
just
won.
make what you originally put in back?
No, wouldn't you
Depends
get
what the
if
odds
the
are.
odds are
Yeah.
like 20-1? Does that mean you just get like a 20th of what you put in? If you,
What if it's 1-1?
I don't. Well, it wouldn't be though.
Then you would just get back your investment.
Because Bashir must have been favored very, very, very heavily.
Because that's how it works in horse racing. Is like the more favored they are to win, the less you win if they win.
Yeah, but if it's a two-person thing and the only one guy is getting bet on and the other one isn't, then there's no pool for the other guy.
Yeah, that means your bookie just lost a lot of money. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
Ah,
the house
okay,
covers
okay.
it.
Yeah, and that's why.
That's why Quark
got so
wanted
desperate.
to.
But that's why bookies set odds.
Yeah.
So like they can encourage you to bet the way they want you.
Yeah, just say maybe. But if O'Brien does pull it off somehow,
That's also why. That's
By
that's
cheating.
also why there's spreads too.
Yeah.
Right? So like, it's not just like in sports betting. It's not just who wins or loses.
By how many
Yeah,
points?
even if you win, you could still lose the bet because they didn't cover the spread.
Anyway, the other thing that confused me that Jake tried to explain at the end, but I didn't buy because I think my phone was ringing and I had to deal with some bullshit and I missed a thing of the ending, and that was when Quark was trying to pay Martis off to leave.
Mhm.
But why?
I think
He didn't
just
want the
wanted
competition.
Yeah, I think he just
But
wanted to get rid of him.
Martis's luck is over. Martis should want to leave anyway.
But now the devices are destroyed, so now he'll be making his own luck again.
Yeah, I think Quark just wanted to get rid of him. Just wanted him to go away.
The show just wanted an excuse to not have him on every single week.
Yeah.
Really.
I appreciate that. I don't think I could handle it.
Yeah, I mean, as much as that actor did as good a job as he could with that part, I didn't connect with the character, and I don't think I would have enjoyed this being a recurring character.
No. Oh, another problem with this episode. When Julian's talking to Dax in the Replimat, and, like, he can't find a full ketchup bottle.
Yes!
Well, that was bad luck.
Oh! That was stupid.
Also, I hated the way it worked.
That.
I hated the way the ketchup bottle worked.
It was
So
like...
annoying.
Like, I get it, you're trying to make it seem relatable, like, oh, we've all been there. I didn't even think of the luck thing. But just like, it was just like, you're distracting from the conversation. Stop it.
Yeah.
It was really distracting.
And then, yes.
What are the odds that it would take you 3 tries to find a full ketchup bottle?
I mean, I've
That
been in
depends on really
shitty
Depends
diners.
on
They
the
just should have had some
establishment.
he should have been able to tell once he picked it up which ones were
That's
empty.
true.
I mean,
Like, why did is he a moron? He had to
Yes.
try every one.
Actually,
No,
Did look like they were made of metal, so maybe you just
maybe.
can't tell.
Or maybe
yeah, like I said,
they're anti-gravity ketchup
Also,
dispensers.
it's a Replimat. Why couldn't you just be like, "Hey, computer, make me a chicken sandwich with ketchup on it"?
Yeah.
Because he needs to have exactly the right amount of ketchup.
Sandwich,
Replimats
ketchup,
just
hot.
never get it. Oh, yuck.
But yes, and as you said,
I don't know. Hot ketchup just sounds fucking disgusting. I know it's not what you said, but it's what it sounded like, and I just can't.
like you said earlier too, like, because it's not a squeeze bottle, he has to, like, awkwardly shake it out.
Yeah, he's jerking it off.
It's like, what the... That whole scene was just...
I don't even remember what else happened in that scene, because I was so distracted by the goddamn ketchup.
It was basically just him saying to Dax, like...
Oh,
I'm afraid O'Brien's gonna kill
Yeah,
himself.
he's gonna have a
trying to
heart
blame him.
attack.
Oh, is that that scene?
That's
That's
when
right.
the
He's
day over
like
38.
he was blowing after whatever. After,
I could see his heartbeat just by watching the
His
bulge in
neck,
his
yeah.
neck.
Oh God!
So do
poor,
we also think
poor
that the
O'Brien.
reason why O'Brien was doing so poorly at the beginning at the racquetball was it partly because of the bad luck?
Because he was
No.
about to
You just
die.
he sucked.
That was just him being almost 20...
Whooped by a younger man.
Yeah, he's 15 years older than his competitor and mostly plays against other, like, non-professional hobbyists
The
like
computer
himself.
on easy setting.
And even when he was young, he wouldn't have been able to beat Bashir probably because Bashir was like the captain of the football team,
And
and
they beat the Vulcans.
Nobody beats the Vulcans.
let the
Bashir
Wookiee
did.
win.
And just his luck, one of the ladies was going through Pon Far.
Oh my!
He won twice that night.
Yikes.
Oh dear.
Must have had a sparkly ball.
Speaking of sparkly balls,
Good segue, Caitlin.
not at all. Thank you, Ames. Time to drop the ball on this evening.
No,
Happy
you made it work.
New Year. Anyway, that's it for today. Listen,
Actually, this was the first episode of January 1994.
oh well,
There
see,
we
I
go.
nailed
There you
it.
go.
I nailed it. My
Happy New Year, 1994.
Happy New Year 26 years ago.
God, stop talking about how fucking long ago it was. Anyway,
We march closer to death every day.
Thank goodness.
for Chef Boy RD.
No.
I used to love Chef Boyardee.
Dude, fuck yeah, SpaghettiOs are the balls.
Yeah, now it just tastes like sugar because it's all sugar.
Oh yeah, it's trash. Anyway, speaking of trash,
Spaghettios aren't Chef Boyardee though.
oh no,
No, that's a Campbell's
Mm.
thing.
are they?
This has been Canned Pasta Corner.
What's Chef Boyardee then? Do they do beefaroni or
They do beefaroni. So Chef Boyardee. So there actually was a real life Chef Boyardee.
wasn't it Franco-American? Isn't that who did the fucking...
Maybe initially, I don't know. I think it's probably. For all I know, it's under the Campbell's umbrella by now.
Well, I think they're all fucking owned by Unilever or something.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was a real guy who invented that sauce. Which, like, at the time, it was because it was like a tomato and cheese sauce.
Yeah.
What?
But, like, so it was all the rage, and they canned it and sold it.
Well, in the past, like, there was a period where, like, canned shit was, like, the future, and it was really exciting. And thanks to that bullshit, I grew up on canned vegetables. Ugh.
I actually have a weird soft spot for canned green beans.
Do you?
I used canned green beans in my green bean casserole. You
Really?
specifically need the canned green beans.
I could see that.
They gotta be waterlogged.
You know what it is?
and
I think
fucky.
it's like a nostalgia thing because like school lunch green beans are always canned green beans, and there's just something about them.
I don't have any nostalgia for any school lunches. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was nasty.
They did a good pasta at my school.
Oh,
Because they just loaded it with mozzarella on top.
You had fucking mozzarella at your school?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's what happens when you actually pay tuition.
It's true.
Wait, what school are you talking about?
Didn't you go to Catholic school?
Oh no, we didn't get lunch in Catholic school.
Oh.
They don't feed you.
They got beatings instead of lunch. Come here, it's time for your corporal punishment, you little pricks.
Twice a week, if you paid specifically, they had a pizza day and they had a McDonald's, Subway, or another thing day.
Huh.
So it's either junk food or nothing. Yeah, my school lunch, I remember like, it was there was always like the weekly menu stuff, and then there was my elementary school. They had, and I don't know how they got away with this. I mean, the 90s, I guess.
Lobster.
They had French fries. You could go up and get an order of French fries specifically. I remember like I was the only kid who dipped my French fries in mustard instead of ketchup, and people thought that was nasty.
Jake puts his French fries
It's
in
very
all kinds
interesting.
of things.
I won't say that it's gross. It wouldn't be my ideal
I thought
situation.
that was good. I like mustard.
Listen,
Were you the one who's one of your schools had what had previously been a McDonald's?
Yeah, my high school had a when it opened in the 70s, there was an actual McDonald's franchise in the cafeteria.
Right.
And like after several years, like they were like, we can't actually make money like paying the franchise fee and only being open 2 hours a day, 5 days a week.
didn't even leave it open for like study halls and shit?
No,
Well, that was
I mean,
stupid.
I don't know, maybe I don't know, but
Well,
either way,
it's
like
their own fault.
it
They
was
were losing
Staff
money
it,
because they
though.
were stupid.
well, they staffed it with students,
Who were on their study hall.
like culinary students, but then eventually it closed.
Culinary students making McDonald's food. That's
It
good.
eventually closed and then became like the school. They left all the equipment, so the school just took it over and started making their own
McDonald's
replica.
food.
But even then, the ice cream machine never worked.
No, it actually did.
Oh,
I used to
wow.
get the ice cream all the time. And what was funny is
McDonald's ice cream is like surprisingly and
the shake
saddeningly
machine, like
really
they actually
good.
like had good shit there. And like but like you can imagine why I'm overweight now. For 4 years, almost every day I had a double cheeseburger, an order onion rings, and a milkshake for lunch.
Jesus.
Wasn't there
$4.
Wasn't there a point where you were svelte after high school because you were walking a lot or some shit?
Yeah, when I went to college, I didn't eat a lot, and
we're stressed out all the
and
time.
I walked a lot, and I rode my bike a lot, and I was very stressed out a lot, so I lost 50 pounds.
We should do that
I
again.
was down to 170.
We should stress
Time to
Jake
You
out.
should be
Jake out.
Jake, you should waste away again.
Yeah, what was funny though, I remember this old joke from the Drew Carey show where Drew Carey's on a hunger strike, and like they wanted, I can't remember like who they were trying to trick as boss or something, and like he's supposedly on this hunger strike, but of course he's Drew Carey and he can't help himself at the time. I mean, he's actually in good shape now.
He is, yeah.
and his wife is like some great
A chef.
or something too.
really ironic.
But at the time, he was part of the joke
I
of
should
that
just
show
do
was he was
that.
a fat guy, and like to trick him, they get a really skinny guy to lie under a blanket and only have Drew's head sticking out.
His still pudgy head.
And like they make this joke where they're like, "Why is his head so fat?" And they're like, "Oh, head fat is the hardest fat to lose." And when I got
Can't do any
and when I
crunches for
lost all that weight, when I got I'm over 6 feet tall, and so being 170 pounds, I was
quite
pretty
thin.
small, but I still had a fat fucking head. I still had a double chin. So, like, I remember, I always thought about that joke at that time. I was like, why is my head still fat? Oh, because the head fat is the hardest fat to lose.
I don't know. Anytime I lost weight, my face would always slim down. Thankfully.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just men. The
No,
head
I'm
fats.
I don't
No, I'm
know.
afraid
I don't know if it's a
it's
real
stuck
thing
this
or not.
way.
Or maybe, I think I just have a big fucking head, just
Also
generally
true.
speaking.
Oh, my skull is gargantuan.
I can't wear hats.
Even if I got into shape, I would still just fucking Baylock.
The puppet.
What does that even mean?
No, I'm including Howard.
Oh, Clint.
He's got a big fucking head.
I guess he does.
Oh,
Especially
my
as a
God.
child. He hadn't grown into it yet.
Alright, so we made fun of Miles' dad bod, Chris's head, Jake's chins.
Why do you think I grow this beard?
We know.
No, you don't. You don't want to see what's under there.
We haven't seen what's under
It's
there
just
in like 10 years.
chins. I'm just...
My primary chin is actually pretty good. Like, I have a pretty okay...
It's all the echo chins
But
that are all good.
it's the secondary and tertiary chins that are the problem.
That's the thing. I have kind of a weak jawline, so I mean, I would have no.
Yeah, because I mean, like, there's a lot of men will grow a
We've
beard out
seen
if
you without beard,
if
Chris.
they
Yeah,
I don't think you have a weak jawline.
No, that's the fat.
Yeah,
confusing you.
it's
if I shaved and lost weight, you'd realize I don't like feel that. It's
I don't want to touch your.
That's
I don't want to touch your beard. I don't want to
confusing
squeeze your chin.
I washed it this morning.
Just don't
Hey,
touch
squeeze my chin.
Just touch it. What's the problem? Just touch it.
Squeeze my chin.
The wiriness looks scary.
Is that how Umox works?
That's how it is for Italian Americans.
It's gone places.
Speaking
We
of
should
going
finish.
places, we're... Oh, dear.
Speaking of dropping balls.
Speaking of finishing, I came twice, and we're gonna go now. If you like what you heard, please subscribe.
Let's start over.
Take a breath. My God.
If you like what you heard and you want to hear more, you can find To Start a Steer Her By, where all fine podcasts are sold. We're on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Facebook by searching A Start to Steer Her By. We are SSHB Podcast on Twitter and Tumblr, and if you go to sshbpodcast.com, you'll find our home on the internet, which is just our Tumblr page. Next week, we'll be talking about 2 more episodes of Deep Space Nine.
My God.
I know, wild. And, yeah, we hope to see you then. Until then, I have been Caitlin.
Have we said what we're doing next week?
What are the episodes,
Yeah.
Caitlin?
The Alternate and Armageddon Game.
Oh.
That sounds exciting. All right, until then, I have been Caitlin.
I've been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This is always Ames.
I don't have a rule of acquisition this week.
There were a couple entered, but
There were.
Well, did any of you take one down?
No,
I
that's
thought that was
your
your
job.
job. I thought you.
What do you mean? My job?
You're the one. You said you were gonna.
that you volunteered for this duty.
All right, I'll make one up. Rule of acquisition 148.
You suck at this.
Fucking.
A dead man's game can play you twice.
There we go.
Rule of acquisition, what did you say, 148?
Well,
Maybe.
let me see if there actually is a 148.
I'm sure there is. I was gonna try to quote.
There's actually a list on the internet.
There is.
I'm on it.
I was gonna try to
Rule
quote
of
the
acquisition
Amazon money.
148 is
Wealth enables
experience.
Yeah, that's what I said.
There we go. All right.